Hello everyone. I would like to talk to you about what a fair trial is. The right to a fair trial and public criminal trial, or a fair and public hearing in civil proceedings, is one of the guarantees in relation to the legal proceedings. Fair trial and fair hearing rights include that all persons are equal before the courts and tribunals, the right to a fair and public hearing before a competent, independent, and impartial court or tribunal is established by law. Where do where does fair trial and fair hearing rights come from? In Australia is a party to 7 core international human rights treaties. Fair trial and hearing rights are contained in Article 14 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, or the ICCPR. What is the scope of the right to a fair trial and fair hearing? The right to a fair trial and fair hearing applies to both criminal and civil proceedings, and in cases before the courts and tribunals. It also applies to military disciplinary hearings. The right is concerned with more procedural fairness rather than the substantive decision of court or tribunal. Equality. What constitutes to a fair hearing will require recognition of the interest of the accused, the victim, and the community in a criminal trial, and all parties in civil proceedings. In any event, the procedures followed in a hearing should respect the principle of equality of arms, which requires all parties to that proceeding must have a reasonable opportunity of presenting their case under the conditions that do not disadvantage them against other parties to the proceedings. The right to a public hearing. The right to the public hearing incorporates the principle that justice should not only be done, but be seen to be done, by subjecting legal proceedings to public scrutiny. However, pre-trial decisions made by the prosecuting authorities are not required to be made in public. In some cases, appellant's decisions may be made on the papers rather than on the basis of a public hearing. This will not breach the right to a public hearing, which the material on which the court bases its decision is publicly available. As is the decision itself, the requirement in Article 14 that decisions be made public is based on the principle that legal proceedings be public to public scrutiny. Some methods whereby witnesses give evidence, for example, by video link, or where the witness is shielded from the accused, may raise issues regarding the right to a public hearing. Proceedings may also be closed to such public interest of national security. However, while each case should be considered on its merits, such measures are likely permitted given their legal objectives. Thank you for listening to my podcast, and I'll give it back to Riley. Thank you.